Imagine a world over 4,700 years ago, where the sands of Egypt cradle a secret so profound it defies everything we think we know about the past. The pyramids, colossal tombs of stone, rise from the desert, their blocks cut and stacked with a precision that modern engineers marvel at. The Egyptians built these wonders with tools we'd call primitive: copper chisels, wooden sleds, raw human strength. Yet the results rival our greatest machines. Did they know something we've forgotten? A technology lost to the ages? Welcome to Tales of Civilizations, where I'll take you back to ancient Egypt to explore the enigma of the pyramid builders. This is a story of brilliance, mystery, and a past that whispers truths we may never reclaim. Let's dive into the desert and uncover it together. Our tale begins in the dawn of Egypt's Old Kingdom, around 2700 BC. The Nile River flows like a vein of life through a land of sun and sand, its floods nourishing a civilization on the cusp of greatness. Pharaohs rule as gods incarnate, their power absolute, their dreams eternal. In this era, a king named Djoser ascends the throne of the Third Dynasty, a ruler determined to mark his reign with something new. He turns to a man whose name would become legend: Imhotep. Priest, architect, and perhaps something more. Imhotep isn't just a builder. He's a visionary, a genius who sees beyond the mud brick tombs of old. At Saqqara, Djoser's capital, he designs the world's first pyramid, not smooth-sided like Giza's giants, but a stepped tower of 6 limestone levels, rising 200 feet into the sky. It's a revolution, a leap from flat mastabas to a monument that mimics the heavens. The Egyptians of this time have no iron, no wheels, no complex gears, just soft copper tools, ropes, and their hands. Yet Imhotep's pyramid stands firm, its blocks fitted with startling accuracy, its design a blueprint for centuries to come. By the time Khufu builds the Great Pyramid at Giza 2 centuries later, 2.3 million stones, some weighing 80 tons, the art of pyramid building has reached a peak. These structures aren't just tombs, they're statements, symbols of a civilization that bends nature to its will. But how did they do it with so little? That's where the story takes root. Let's step into the world of the pyramid builders, a place of dust, sweat, and unrelenting ambition. Picture Saqqara under Imhotep's watch. The air hums with the clink of copper against stone, the shouts of workers echoing across the plateau. Hundreds, maybe thousands of laborers quarry limestone from nearby hills, their chisels biting into rock softened by the Nile's touch. They shape each block by hand, measuring with cords and wooden squares, their cuts so clean they gleam in the sun. For Djoser's pyramid, the stones are modest, a ton or two each, and workers drag them on sleds across the sand, wetting the ground to ease the load. It's slow, grueling work, but it works. Fast forward to Giza, 2550 BC, and the scale explodes. Khufu's men tackle granite from Aswan, 500 miles away, massive slabs hauled by barge during the Nile's flood, then dragged overland by teams of dozens, sometimes hundreds. At the site, ramps of mud brick and sand spiral up the growing pyramid, their slopes shallow to bear the weight. Ropes groan as workers pull, their chants rising like a hymn to the pharaoh. Some blocks take hours to place, the heaviest take days, lifted inch by inch to heights over 400 feet. Archaeologists have found traces of this labor: quarry marks, broken tools, even a worker's diary from Giza, scribbled on papyrus by a man named Merer. It took decades, 20 years for Djoser's pyramid, maybe 30 for Khufu's. But when the dust settles, these monuments stand as miracles of stone, their surfaces once polished to shine like the sun. The builders leave no manuals, no blueprints, just the pyramids themselves, silent witnesses to their craft. But here's where the tale twists into shadow, and the mystery unfurls like a scroll in the wind. How did they cut granite, harder than their copper tools, with such flawless edges? How did they align the Great Pyramid to true north within a hair's breadth, or stack stones so tight a knife can't slip between? The standard story is compelling. It's organization, not magic. Scholars point to evidence: the workers' villages with bakeries and graves, the ramps' faint outlines in the sand, the tools scattered at quarry sites. Imhotep and his heirs, they say, mastered logistics. Tens of thousands of men fed by the Nile's bounty, guided by overseers with star charts and plumb lines. They used levers, sleds, and ramps, simple, but perfected over generations. The Diary of Merer logs stone shipments with mundane detail, as if it's just another day on the job. Yet gaps yawn wide in this picture. Why do some blocks at Giza, like the 80-ton granite beams in the king's chamber, sit at heights no ramp explains? Why can't we replicate that precision today, even with lasers and cranes? Some argue for lost techniques, massive counterweights buried in the desert, rollers hinted at in tomb art, or a method of softening stone with heat or acid, now vanished. Others peer deeper into Egypt's myths. Texts speak of Thoth, the god of wisdom, gifting knowledge to men like Imhotep, a figure later worshipped as a deity himself. Was he more than human, tapping secrets from a time before the pharaohs? Fringe voices go further. The pyramids' cosmic ties to Orion, their sheer scale, suggest help from beyond, aliens perhaps, or an advanced civilization lost to floods. Egypt's authorities scoff. They've scanned Giza, dug its edges, and found no strange machines or godly fingerprints. But the doubts cling like dust. Why do ancient Greek writers like Herodotus marvel at tools they couldn't describe? Why does Imhotep's legacy feel like a shadow we can't grasp? The pyramids stand there, mocking our certainty. Was this the work of men, or a technology we've forgotten? So here we are, gazing up at these stone giants, the Step Pyramid of Djoser, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, relics of a past that hums with questions. This is a story of human triumph, of hands that shape the desert into eternity. But it's also a mystery that dances just out of reach, a whisper of knowledge that slipped through time's fingers. Did the Egyptians wield a craft we've lost, a genius honed over centuries? Or did they touch something greater, divine, ancient, or beyond our world? That's the riddle they've left us, etched in limestone and granite. If you're as spellbound by these ancient secrets as I am, hit that subscribe button and join me on Tales of Civilizations for more journeys into the past. What do you think? Did they know something we've forgotten, or is it all just sand and sweat? Drop your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you in the next tale.